everybody. What's the crack?
Hello. The world of lesbians exploded.
So, yeah, this is episode
98 and a half, I think.
98.5.
Yeah,
which is a good temperature for you to be Fahrenheit. That's normal temperature.
And if you're that in Celsius...
Actually, it's 98.6 is the standard.
If you're that in Celsius, you might have problems.
You've got issues.
Hi,
friends. How are you, fans? I know you still love us.
Yeah, some backstory. Basically,
issues.
There's been a problem with Omega's PC. I don't know what she's doing, but...
I'm moving the tripod, so... We're actually recording this to camera, and then she's gonna rip the...
That's really not necessary.
Oh.
It's like, remember with vlogs, the camera's a little bit away?
Yeah, but for audio-ness.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
But,
she's gonna actually... We're recording this to camera in my room, and she's actually gonna rip the MP3s and put it together.
Yeah, I'm gonna edit together. Usually Omega will put editing stuff to it and remove my and what the and little words like that. I'm not doing any of that. I have no time.
Well, you also don't have the right software for that either.
Yeah, so.
So, how's everybody been? 2016. What a wild ride it's been.
Yes. Long story short, Omega's PC has had problems, and
it's not the PC. It's actually the electric in the room.
And so the PC has not been turned on in about 3 months.
Yeah.
And
basically what I need is, and apparently you can't, Amazon won't ship from England, is I need a surge protector with a battery backup, because this has happened once to one of the people who lives here, but it's especially apparent in my room, because my room has a gypsy curse on it, is that occasionally there'll be a power flicker, which is not powerful enough to affect anything like the lights or small electronics, like the TV or my mini fridge, but will completely power, like just shut off. Not even shut down, like begin shutdown procedures, just completely power off my PC and my PS4.
Yeah.
To the point where, like, the PC could not stay on long enough for Windows to start, and it gave me a blue screen saying Windows is irreparably damaged. But fortunately, that was not the case, and I was able to just get it powered down the real way. And yeah, so
episode 99 was recorded. It was done Skype to Skype. It has a patron as a guest star. George, if you're listening to this, that episode still exists. If for some reason the PC's wiped that or something, we'll re-record it. But that's why this is episode 98.5, because otherwise that would be episode 100, and that's not really episode 100.
Big special thing.
Yeah, so this is a stopgap. Hopefully, soonish we will be able to get the PC working again, and we'll have more regular episodes of Lesbian Talk.
I haven't forgotten about the podcast. It's just been, and there was things, and I almost died, and then it was Christmas, and then there you go.
Yeah. So,
well, I didn't almost die.
What do you want to start with?
Oh, Jesus.
Because this is just going to be a broken up episode full of lots of different stuff.
What did you think of the end of Doctor Who?
The last episode was fucking terrible. I'm expecting to do a 20 Who review on it.
I thought Heaven Sent was really good. It was really, really good. Mostly because the analogy of a little bird flies to the edge of the universe where there's a diamond mountain and it sharpens its beak once every 1,000 years, and when the mountain is worn down, 1 second of eternity will have passed. I'm like, I committed that to memory when I was in high school because that was a brilliant analogy.
I thought that episode was generally quite good, although I subscribe to the idea that the Doctor, none of it actually happened. It was...
Yeah, I don't think he really was a billion years. I think he was
tricked.
It's
ridiculous. So definitely go for that one. And even if that's what did happen, then the Doctor that we're following is not the same Doctor as previous ones.
Well, he didn't regenerate. He just kind of re-downloaded.
Yeah, but the original Doctor who we've been following until then, his skull is inside that thing.
With many skulls.
Yeah,
an ocean full of skulls.
That version of the Doctor, it's all very sort of philosophical. The sort of philosophical arguments we'll have whenever we invent teleportation, I assume. But, yeah, that was good. The second part was terrible, and I honestly did not think that they could make Rassilon any worse from End of Time. But they managed it.
I'll just step aside and get exiled, I guess, even though I'm, like, totally Rassilon.
Rassilon, the Time Lord's techno god.
Maybe that wasn't really Rassilon. Maybe that was just, like, Rassilon had run away, like, he, for some reason, had gone to another dimension or something like that, and I was like, oh shit, You come here. You're Rassilon now.
Yeah.
Like that movie Dave, where that guy's the president. With what's his face?
Yeah,
And
the only way
Kevin Kline and Sigourney Weaver. I really liked that movie actually.
the only way
I
they
thought
could
Sigourney
save
Weaver was really cute in it.
the only way they could save Rassilon at this point is to have the original Rassilon turn up and kill a fuckload of people.
Yes.
But
Who has been disturbing my Rassilon slumber?
because guys, if you don't watch old Who, Rassilon had the ability to turn people into stone using the power of his mind while he was unconscious. He could teleport the Master across time and space without a TARDIS with the power of his mind while he was unconscious. Rassilon is as far above the Time Lords as the Time Lords, including the Doctor, as the Doctor is probably above an ant.
Wow.
So it's like really galling to see him come back like that. It's a bit like having, okay, take Jesus. You imagine he has all the powers as ascribed to him in the Bible. And then you bring him back, for Bible 2, written, semi-reboot, made years and years later.
Bible 2, the gritty reboot.
And he comes back, and he gets exiled from Earth because, I don't know, someone else who's, in canon not as powerful as Jesus, say Joseph Smith, yells at him.
Joseph Smith isn't in Bible canon.
Oh, according to the Mormons, he is.
They cheated, though.
Well, I'm just saying, it's a new version, it's a reboot.
If you're a Mormon, write the shit.
It's an extended thing from the original one, like Book of Mormon is the
Okay,
Bible.
right.
And
Fair enough.
Joseph Smith yells at Jesus, and he leaves the planet.
Only if he says "Fuss Roda" and blows Jesus off the planet.
But he could. But
Somebody draw that.
It's something akin to that. The Doctor's just a guy. The Rassilon is meant to be a god.
I understand.
Admittedly, he uses technology and augmentation and stuff, but no.
I liked Maisie Williams. I liked her character, and I liked. You remember she's about to open a screw top bottle. Oh no, you did it. I liked her character. I think she's a good actress, and I like how the Doctor's like, oh, I can't believe you don't remember. She's like, yeah, I have an infinite lifespan, an infinite brain. Sorry about that. Anyway, and I don't care, and I don't really read fan fiction, but I know that literally 5 minutes after that episode ended, every fan fiction writer immediately got up to writing the adventures of Lady Me and Clara, and if there was a novel put out, I'd read it.
I'll whine about that in a 20 Who at some point. And
Shit, I want a Jenny Vastra spin-off just for
oh god damn it.
lesbianness.
I hate them.
I don't care. I like them. I like the Victorian era, and I like gay people. And you should have known that because you married me.
Well, I knew that. But I also do a complaining thing about the hybrid storyline from season 9, because New Who's idea of storylines
it was a red
are
herring the whole time.
fucking incoherent often. They're ongoing story arc ideas. Long story arcs don't tend to work in Doctor Who because of the nature of the show. You're traveling.
See, I thought the whole it would make sense if the whole hybrid thing was something that the Doctor just made up.
Yeah, that would have been better.
He at some point in his incarnations had come back to Gallifrey and implanted that into the Matrix because he figured it might be useful at some point in time as a way out, He invent a prophecy to put into the Matrix. Everyone's like, "Oh, it's the prophecy," and he's like, "I know the prophecy." But in case, as an ace in the hole, in case he ever needed to turn against the Time Lords and turn against Gallifrey.
There was a line from season 4 of
That's
New
something
Who.
the Seventh Doctor would have done.
Possibly, but
Let me set this up in advance. Ace, you stay here.
There was a line in the 4th season of New Who, whenever the Doctor met River Song from the first time from his point of view.
I cried.
And she was all
at the Christmas episode.
And she was all like, River Song, archaeologist, and then the Doctor's like, I'm a time traveler. I laugh at archaeologists. But you're saying about prophecy and stuff?
Mm-hmm.
Logically, time travelers should laugh at prophets.
Yeah, but see, the thing is, that's the thing. He is already so far beyond the Time Lords because he travels the galaxy and he doesn't have, their kind of minds. No, but listen.
Never be far beyond the Time Lords. The Time
No,
Lords...
no, I mean, morally speaking, not physically, abilities kind of thing. But the thing is that, he's seen the truth of some of that, I mean, they're always kind of depicted very Roman-esque. And what was the flaw of Rome? Rome became decadent. It became set in its ways. It didn't innovate anymore. And so the Doctor innovates. That's what keeps him new and fresh and different ways of thinking, is because he's getting out there and he's seeing all these people and all these races and all these stories and stuff like that.
Well,
I should get to, you guys. I should write for Doctor Who.
But the Time Lords watch all the races as well.
Yeah, but they like are
I'm
also like eating grapes on a chair or something.
I'm firmly in the opinion that the Time Lords were only ever done well in the Patrick Troughton era in their one episode appearance at the end of the War Games.
Well, they have grown since then.
They shriveled.
They have grown decadent.
The
fall of Rome and Gallifrey.
Just for any audience ones who don't know what happened at the end of the War Games. Okay, the Doctor had 8 episodes, or was it 9 episodes, of trying to, defeat these guys called the Warlords, and he couldn't do it, and they'd captured a bunch of humans from different time periods, were making them go to war and stuff, because they were trying to kill a bunch of soldiers and then have the survivors and breed them together with other people in order to create the perfect warrior race, to conquer the galaxy or something.
It's always about the perfect warrior race.
So, the Doctor tried to defeat them, and he couldn't. So he sent away one of the little message cubes, as seen in the Doctor's wife, to the Time Lords, and his idea was, get the Time Lords, make them come here, run away to the TARDIS, they'll deal with this, I'll get away. The Time Lords did appear instantly. They grabbed all the Warlords instantly, defeated them, took them away, and slowed time around the Doctor and Jamie and Zoe before they could reach the TARDIS, so they could never reach the TARDIS, and therefore grabbing them as well. And then the next 2 episodes, first of all, they put the Warlords on trial, and then wiped their entire species from history, and then they put the Doctor on trial. They didn't even have to use, New Who yet, and Rassilon and End of Time had, a glove to exterminate people. No, they do it with a thought. Their technology is so far beyond.
This is my extermination glove. There are many like it, but this one is mine.
They didn't need to do anything like that. And then they wipe the memories of Jamie and Zoe, the companions, throw them into TARDISes to send them back to where they came from. And then they force regeneration on the Doctor, in essence executing him, and they throw him back down to Earth.
As John Pertwee, with a defunct TARDIS, so he can't go away.
Depends if Devious is in your personal headcanon or not. Devious is a fan film which co-starred John Pertwee, which was set between the 2nd and 3rd Doctor, as in the regeneration went halfway, because they found a guy who looked a bit like John Pertwee and Patrick Troughton crossed. So he was like, I'm having an adventure! And then at the end he regenerated into John Pertwee, and John Pertwee was actually played himself,
Oh, it's me!
And then he fell out of the TARDIS. But that is, the only good depiction of the Time Lords, as in, techno-gods, the Doctor can't defeat them. It's like one person, as we are now, versus the entirety of the American government. They will not be able to do it.
No. Unless
they have superpowers. And the Doctor doesn't have superpowers. He is average for a Time Lord. He's amazing to us. He's average for a Time Lord.
But morally speaking. Well, anyway. And the Christmas episode was good, and I almost cried.
Christmas episode?
But I forget her name. I always forget her name, but I like the girl who plays River Song because Alex Kingston, because I liked her as Dr. Elizabeth Cordray in ER. So I have always had a fond spot for that actress. And so sad. But yeah.
Husband's River Song was basically like a not very witty Douglas Adams. As in, it was funny, it just wasn't clever.
It was a romp. It was fun. And after the season like that, we kind of needed that. It was kind of like Time Heist, but a little bit more silly.
I don't know why you say that, after that you need that. It's like...
Because it was very heavy, it was very dramatic. We were like, Clara! Clara! No, Doctor! Oh, Clara! No, the Doctor! Oh, shit! I hate everyone! Oh my gosh! Everyone's dying! Like, it was very dramatic and very melodramatic, and very, intense. And we're like...
It's very
We've got an alien's head.
It's a very New Who way of dealing with things. As in, New Who is wedded to the idea that you got some episodes are horrible and sad, and other episodes are really happy and fun. They like to have a mix.
Actually, in all fairness, that's not an old thing. Like, a lot of anime series will do that, too.
Oh, a lot of other shows as well, but New Who does it a lot.
Old
Who didn't.
The mid-season break, but, in Slayer's Try, and, right after it's, really big shit goes down, and everyone thinks everyone else is dead, there's an episode about romance between 2 fish people. I'm just saying.
In Old Who, generally, what you had was the tone was set by the producer and head writer, and they would stick with that until they were replaced.
Oh, fair enough.
So the show literally regenerated every so often. With New Who, it's the same show. Part of the reason New Who is possibly feeling its age is because they're keeping to the same basic structure of season that Russell T Davies came up with. If whenever Chris Chibnall comes in and he just sticks on one tone for the entire show, it'll be very refreshing.
Okay, I believe you. We also went to Amsterdam.
Yes, we did.
In December. It was fun. Thomas Cook is a travel agent around here, and they do these things called city breaks, which is basically like 2 nights.
Sorry.
Hagen is dying.
Yes.
Basically like 2 nights and like a bit of a day in a city, and it was pretty reasonable.
So we arrived in late afternoon, we had the next day, and then we left the next morning.
Yeah. It was nice though. I mean, we flew out of Belfast to Amsterdam, which is good because flying back into Derry, you have to fly in over the lock, and that's just a very rough landing all the time. But it was really cool. Everyone in the Netherlands speaks English.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we'd come into a shop, we hadn't even said a word yet, and I'd be like, oh, hi. And they'd immediately just start speaking to us in perfect, unaccented English. Because Dutch people are fucking friendly. Like, literally, like, we were waiting at a stoplight to cross the street, and this woman comes up on a bike, and she's like, oh my gosh, let me just tell you, the stoplight takes so long, I'm waiting here every morning. It was just like chatting like we're friends. I'm like, that's cool.
Yeah.
Also, everywhere there could be a bike, there is a bike.
Yeah, I could not get my mind around the idea that there's the bike paths everywhere. I would constantly accidentally walk onto it.
And nearly get hit by bikes. Well, no, I'm okay with that because a lot of places in America have bike lanes, and, you know. But if you're thinking about going to Amsterdam and you can afford it, it's nice.
Yeah, there's no hills or anything. It's great.
Yeah, that was really wonderful. They have a really good transit system, kind of like the Lewis train. They're basically trolleys. That's really easy to hop on, hop off. And I figured out how to decode like what was Dutch for next stop, because we didn't have Kyle with us. Although I did get him to tell me how to order my usual Subway order in Dutch. Which it turned out we didn't need because the people who ran the subway were Eastern European anyway.
No, we told you that you'd be fine.
I know.
But yeah, Amsterdam was fun. We got a hell of a lot done in the one day that we had really in the city. Because like we got in there in the late afternoon, we went to one of the Christmas markets and
that was lovely.
Bought some random stuff. But the next day we went to the Torture Museum.
It was a rip-off.
We discovered there were 2 torture museums in Amsterdam.
And one was, I think you described one as the High Touch Torture Museum, which I thought was pretty funny.
There's a torture museum.
It's the posh torture museum, you know.
Because there was a torture museum and the medieval instruments of torture museum. So I was like, oh, which one do we go to? So we went to one of them, and it cost a lot and wasn't very big or interesting.
It's not that it cost a lot. It cost €7. And it only took like 15 minutes to walk through. Like, it was basically a converted house with pictures and like some old torture museums. And then at the end, it has this thing about how torture is morally wrong. And it's like, but the U.S. still uses torture all the time. They also have the death penalty too. Some big proponent of democracy they turned out to be. And I was like, hey, what the fuck? Thanks, Torture Museum.
It reminded me of the intro part to one of the dungeons, like the London dungeon or Edinburgh dungeon. The intro part's before the fun stuff, just for the whole thing. And then we ended up at the Sex Museum.
That was €4, and we got our money's worth.
Yeah, that's like 4 hours worth.
The best thing about the Sex Museum is it's 16 over, so there's no little like children running around and like bonking into you and screaming and pitching a fit because they want a sweetie or they have to go to the toilet.
Yeah,
that was nice. There's also a picture which I will make sure you have. Of Hagen consulting the giant penis on how to get
they have like animatronics and everything, and there was
a butt that farts on you. Yeah, you don't know it until you walk past.
There's a sensor on this ass, and it sort of farts when you walk past.
And it has eyes with eyelashes, and it blinks at you, and I don't want to be blinked at by a big farting butt.
And there is the animatronics of just people doing all sorts of sex stuff, because it's like animatronic red light district. Woo! One of the guys looks like Friedrich Nietzsche.
He was the photographer for Marilyn Monroe.
Oh no! There was a guy down in the bottom floor. He looked like Friedrich Nietzsche.
Oh.
And I was like, oh, Mr. Nietzsche, I didn't quite want to see your Ubermensch. Because he starts flashes you and you see his cock and everything. It's another one you get too close, the animatronic will pee on the glass in front of you and stuff. And it's like they're doing all sorts of stuff just together. It's like.
And they had this room for fetishes, but they were all like every fetish was next to each other, so you were like, So
you had all the fetishes, but then you had some stuff that definitely wasn't fetishes.
Yeah, and that was kind of bad. They covered like their one little bit on transgenderism was in the fetish room, and we were like, that is not appropriate.
Yeah, they need to sort of become a bit more progressive there.
Aye.
But yeah, multiple floors, really interesting.
Yeah.
They had a lot of like 1920s, 1910s
There
sort
was
of early pornography.
there wasn't
and
a gift
stuff.
shop as I recall.
No, there should have been.
There should have been because like the
I would
one
have bought
place
all
you
sorts of
even
stuff.
like penis pencils and just all sorts.
I would have bought all sorts of things. And then we went on the
Went
canal
to-
boat
That
tour.
was fun, yeah. I'm gonna answer the obvious question, and that is yes. Hagen did find a new favorite type of Fanta. While we were
yes.
in. Tell them what you've done.
Fantacassis, otherwise Fantacasse or Casis or whatever.
Oh, it's no nasty.
It's sour blackcurrant.
Oh, I hate blackcurrant.
I love black.
Let me break it down for you, okay? We were in the red light district. We were in a coffee shop the first night, all right? And the thing
the stoned
is,
guy was like, "Why don't you try the purple Fanta?"
it's really grand. Well, see, the thing is, if you go to a coffee shop, it's good etiquette that you buy drinks and snacks because basically that's how they make their money. Mm-hmm. Because the marijuana that they sell is very tightly regulated and stuff like that. So they make their money off you buying snacks and drinks. So it's very polite, even if you've bought a joint or, some pot from another shop to come in and immediately buy a drink. So I think you guys me a Diet Coke or something like that. So I'm sitting at this table and I'm halfway into this really amazing joint. And you come back like, oh, I got this. And I'm like, oh, I'll try it. Now, if you've never smoked before, one of the reasons that you want to eat or drink stuff is because you crave pleasurable sensations because they seem really great because of all the chemicals going on in your brain. And so she gives me some of this at a time chemically where I should love the fuck out of everything. I was like, ah, bleh, meh, nasty.
And, okay. This drink...
Oh, it's just not fun.
Blackcurrant is a massive flavour in the UK.
Oh, it's disgusting.
We don't do grape, we do blackcurrant.
I don't know why.
I love it.
Margaret Thatcher's fault.
I grew up with blackcurrant. It's one of my favourite flavours. Ever since I was a child. To find out there is a Fanta blackcurrant...
It's like the unfair punishment flavor.
And...
Do you know if you get Skittles here, the purple is not grape. And you know what the taste of blackcurrant, especially blackcurrant sweets is? It's every single, hot pink Barbie branded lip gloss that you had in 1985. That same stale, vaguely fruity, kind of pinkish, bought it at Toys R Us for $1 kind of thing.
I love blackcurrant, and
Nasty.
I want Fanta Cassis over here. In fact, we've got a bottle of regular old Cassis out there because it's actually a liqueur.
Yeah,
and
I got it at Marks and Spencer's.
So I have a little bit of that. I don't drink often, but I have a little bit of that every so often. But
and then you can just leave it and you know that I won't drink it because it's so nasty. It's been sitting like in the corner where I keep my drinks. But yeah, so another thing that we did, and I was in a wee bit of pain because I'm getting to that.
Okay.
And so we visited the coffee shop during the day, and so we had tickets to go see, was it Body Works?
Yeah, Gunther von Hagen's Body Works.
The guy who basically, when people donate their bodies after they die, he plasticines it, and you can see all of the nerves and things, and he puts them in, it's about the body. But the thing is, they're dead bodies. Yep. They're people's bodies, and that kind of weirds me out. So I ended up being in quite a bit of pain from this health thing I was dealing with. And so we ended up at a coffee shop that afternoon, and then we were like, all right, we'll finish up, we'll go do this thing. So I was really appreciative for the fact that I was quite out of my mind when we went to go see this, because I don't think I could have dealt with the fact, either they show all of the lobes of the brain and all the nerves, and I'm like, that's somebody's brain. That brain was doing thinking before it was involved in, oh my god.
And then there's some great dioramas with people, you have one person's being cut in half, and it looks like the two halves are arguing with each other. So it looks like they're having a divorce over who's going to get the spinal column.
Oh yeah, there's one that someone's doing a long jump, and there's one where there's two people having sex, and I'm like, no, that's terrible. And now they're having sex with people not their partners for the rest of eternity. And then she was like, yeah, but they donated their bodies, and their family still know. She's like, would you recognize? I would recognize your body of without skins and stuff. I would know.
I'm a little bit doubtful.
Hush, I would. I'd know it. I would come.
But right before I went to Amsterdam, my nephews and niece were visiting me, and so I introduced them to the concept of taxidermy. Not deliberately, not hello small children, here's
Today we're going to learn about taxidermy, kids.
Yeah, it wasn't like that. It was, one of them noticed that I have a stuffed cat in the room where I do my editing. And
you know about that. If you're a habitual listener to the show, you know about those guys.
And it is literally It's literally beside where I put the camera where I'm doing voiceovers. And
I think it's
so they
fine.
saw it and they were like, why do you have a cat up there? What's going on? So I brought it down, and this is when I picked up in New Orleans whenever I had been drinking whenever I got it, but I would have got it regardless. And it's not a full-on taxidermy because it's basically a skin around polystyrene, shape thing.
I
But
think my cat would have nothing to do with it. He sniffed it once and he was like, "No, this is not a cat. I don't know what you're talking about."
so I used this to explain taxidermy to my nephews and niece. My two nephews, one was sort of meh about it, one was all like, oh, that's pretty cool, and my niece was really horrified with the idea. So after I got
Because
back...
she's wee. She's like, what, 7, 8?
Probably about 9.
Okay.
But whenever I got back from Amsterdam, I brought some books I got from Body World, and I was like, hey kids, check this out. It's like taxidermy for people.
I think that's inappropriate, and I think your brother's gonna whomp you when he
Showed them
finds
the
out.
animals and everything, and they were like, oh my god, you can see the animals' hearts. What's going on? Ah. It was great.
Yeah, what else do we
The
do?
oldest one who liked taxidermy, he's the one who played Vladislav in Boy Meets Girl.
So, if you're in Amsterdam, I forget the name of the restaurant, but we went to this, what was it? It was
It was an Argentinian place.
Argentina, that's what it was.
It was just off Rembrandt Plaza.
And the owner was South African. And so we were looking at the menu, and he's like, "Oh, let me just tell you what, this is the finest beef. You probably don't even know because you're a tourist, but I want to tell you these cows." I said, "I'm gonna cut you off right here." I said, "She doesn't eat beef,
Yep.
and I've got a health condition right now. I can't." And he's like, "Oh, we do pork ribs, we do chicken, and your favorite thing is ribs in the world."
I love pork
And I
ribs.
said, "I do enjoy chicken." And he says, "Well, you know what? We do it with potatoes. How about we put the potatoes in the grill so they're not deep fried for you? Come on in, yeah, we'll take care of you."
Yeah, the owner literally ordered his people to do it whatever way was good for, her health condition and for my preferences. And they gave me the garlickiest ribs ever.
You were like in heaven. You love garlic.
I do love garlic, and there was so much garlic stuff on it that my mouth was literally feeling like it felt like it was feeling pain, as in a mixture between spice and sugar,
Well, garlic.
but I wanted more.
Garlic is part of the onion family. So
Yeah,
it's
so
okay.
it was like,
So
oh,
yeah,
I've not had
I forget the name, but look it up. I mean, it's really. I'm sure we'll
Yeah, its
we'll
symbol
figure out
had like
what it is.
a gaucho on it, I think.
Yeah, it was that's how you take care of the customer. But let's see. Oh, by the way, the health thing is cleared up. By the way, don't worry that I'm like anything horrible. We'll get to that in a second. But yeah, so if you can go to Amsterdam, you really do. I'm gonna say this: try the pickled herring. It looks really scary, but it's really good.
Yeah.
I mean, we got some in the airport on the way back, and we got a smoked eel, basically on a bap with pickles. Oh god, they have Kirby cucumbers. They have European cucumbers, like the real nice ones you can make pickles out of. Not like yucky, bitter, slimy English cucumbers. You heard me, Film Brain, and all the other UK reviewers that probably love English. I don't know, whatever. But so yeah, so that was just amazing because I love smoked food and I don't mind eating eel, but. And we're like, all right, we gotta bite the bullet. We gotta to try the smoked herring, or the pickled herring. Looked really scary. I won't say it didn't. With fresh onions, raw onions, and pickles, and oh my god, it was so lovely.
I was afraid that Omega would leave me to marry pickled herrings.
No, that's very nice. So, the cheese is good. If you're in Europe already, and it's not too big of an expense, or even if you're thinking about going to Europe, just look up Amsterdam. We were about 10 minutes away from the Rijksmuseum.
The hotel had a cat in it.
Yeah, that was it was a little hotel called the Hotel Atlas, right off the Vondelpark. We were about 10 minutes away from the Rijksmuseum, but we did not go because it would take about a day and a half to see everything. So we want to actually get back and.
Yeah, we want to go back and do the Rijksmuseum. There's like a beer.
The Heineken experience.
Yeah, Heineken experience. There's the zoo, and there's a zoo dedicated to microbes.
The microbes, yeah, that looks like fun.
Yeah.
So that was our wee trip. But yeah, so then it was Christmas, and I was dealing with a health problem. I didn't go to the hospital, but I went to the hospital. It's like, you call your GP, and they send you to a GP at the hospital, but it's not really the emergency room. And I was dealing with quite a bit of pain, and the doctor was kind of an asshole. And so he was like, what it came down to, he's like, well, I'm not going to send you to the ER, because I don't think they'll admit you, but I can give you an anti-nausea, and I can give you a painkiller. And I said, all right. He's like, I'll have to give you these injections. I said, okay. He's, all right, drop your trousers. And I was like, excuse me? Because I was expecting to get a jab in the arm like you do.
I was expecting.
And I had you with me to protect me. And he's like, I was like, no, the arm. He's like, no, that's not how we're doing this. And I was in a lot of pain, and I did pull I did do a bad thing. I pulled my special needs card. I said, I'm a special needs adult, and I'm uncomfortable. And then you went into, like, ultimate, like, protection mode, and you were like, my wife is uncomfortable with this. And then he's like, well, I mean, what do you want me to do? And she's like, is there not any other way you can give this to her? He's like, well, I can give it to you a suppository. I'm like, no, not up my butt. And then I'm like, why is this country so obsessed with my butt? But in the end, I was fine, and I'm sure it's all grand now.
Yeah.
But so that was that, and then there was the New Year, and then, Jesus Christ, all the people that we know and love have died. Except for Antonin Scalia. He died yesterday, and we didn't love him, nor did we know him, but...
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, so many people died. Bowie, Rickman, Lemmy.
Yeah.
Guy from Earth, Wind and Fire.
And someone else just died, but now I can't remember who it was.
Terry Wogan.
Yeah. Because somebody wanted his autobiography and it's out of print.
Yeah, he's famous in the UK.
Oh, it's just like...
And Ireland.
I woke up that morning and I was just checking Twitter and I saw David Boyd. Oh my god. And because it just hit Twitter. You know? And I was just like, that's impossible. How could it be?
You know, he was apparently going to be in Guardians of the Galaxy too.
Yeah, you told me that. And apparently, like just this past week, his son tweeted out that his wife is pregnant, so he would have been a grandfather, which is sad. And then I was in the library revising for my last final, and I saw about Alan Rickman, and then a girl in my class posted on our we have our class's a Facebook page, and she was like, "How can we take the exam now with Alan Rickman gone?" Ugh, just people need to stop dying of things. All sorts of things. But we've seen lots of movies. We've done lots of backseat critiques. And I'm sure all of our fans just completely ran out and saw on YouTube immediately because that's how awesome
No, I've seen the numbers in the backseat critiques.
That's true. Well,
Less popular than a lot of other videos we do.
Deadpool. We saw Star Wars. That was really good. Really lived up to all of my expectations, Star Wars wise. We'd like to make an announcement. That is, you will find us at Con Bravo in Hamilton, Ontario this summer.
Yeah. And I'm hoping to do at least 2 crossovers while over.
I'm hoping to do at least 2 cosplays. We'll see.
We're gonna do another multi-Hagen episode like Island of Dr. Moreau for the movie Freak Show, the Asylum's remake of Freaks.
Oh, it's so bad. We watched it for notes and it's really shitty.
And made tentative plans to do a crossover with Magic Steve. For a Mormon pirate movie. I want to see if I can get I want to get another crossover organized if I can, because the Magic Steve one can possibly be done after the con.
That's true, because we're going to stay in Toronto for a few days, having a wee holiday.
So I was asking some people if they were coming to Con Bravo. And
oh, my sister's pregnant. I mean, not that you guys know her, but she and her husband, they're expecting the end of next month, so FYI, I'm going to be auntie. So yeah, so there's that. I mean, like I said, that interests no one in the world. So what's going on with us? Besides that, I mean, have you done anything special that I forgot? I love you so. Have you done anything cool recently?
I don't know. I make videos every so often. I have one other Renegade Cunt written but not recorded yet, which is about Star Wars.
Oh, I'm halfway a psychologist. I'm halfway done my course now.
You're doing really well.
Well...
You're like a genius and stuff.
No, I'm not really a genius.
Yes, you are.
Technically, yes, but otherwise... We were talking about intelligence and personality and individual differences and got up my nose about it because, like, so... I made a face, and this professor, I call her Professor Spectrum because she really is very Spectrum, but I want to, this is the kind of psychologist I want to grow up to be, you know, in a few years when that happens. But she's really great, and she saw me making a face, and she's like, you're making a face. And I said, well, it's because, you know, that's why I don't ever say, I have such and such IQ, or so-and-so has such and such IQ, because the second you do, someone's like, well, actually, really, intelligence doesn't even exist, and because psychologists think they know what it is, but actually, there's like 17 different scales, and none of them are really right. I mean, I scored a 17,000 on the one that I took online. And I'm like, And she's like, well, it's true that intelligence is basically a construct. It's a non-physical thing that we're just approximating. And then she started talking about psychometrics and stuff like that. But it just really annoys me because, like, you'll get some person who read a BuzzFeed article, like, one time 3 years ago, and like, well, actually, you think that you're really smart, but... And I'm like, I don't know. I believe in G. And G is the theory of general intelligence. Like, no matter what you think goes into G, if you follow Gardner's, if you follow Isaac's, if you follow the Big Five, like anything, not the Big Five, that's a personality thing, but like any of the psychometrics to do with intelligence, most of them believe in G. A thing of you either have it or you don't. But then you have, what's his face? I can't remember his name. It's not Bandura, but it sounds like that. And he has 150 different kinds of intelligences, and I'm like, no, that's not how it works.
I like cats.
You do like cats? We have a let's try to do. Because apparently working today was not bad enough. Coming home and making dinner was not bad. Oh, it's Valentine's Day, by the way. Happy Valentine's to all of you.
Valentine's Day 2016. According to Ghostbusters 2, a person in the...
Yeah, today's the day the world ends.
Yep.
Today's also the birthday of one of the robots and...
Pris from Blade Runner.
Yeah. But yeah, so we wanna say that you can be our Valentines anytime. Viewers and listeners.
Unless it's weird.
Yeah. Unless it gets, like, really crowded in my bed.
We have Let's Try. Now, over here, the rest of the world has Turkish Delight. It's created in Turkey. It's a little bit like jelly or jello with powdered sugar, rose flavored.
Not the biggest fan.
And it's nice, and that's what the witch was offering in the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe.
So whenever I saw the BBC animated version when I was way little, and we taped it off the Disney Channel, so I watched it many times on VHS. I always imagined Turkish Delight to be this, like, amazingly wonderful, the most best candy in the world. You just eat it, and you fall down in, like, some kind of, like, hour-long orgasm of sugar kind of thing. And I got Fry's Turkish Delight at the filling station, the Texaco in Upper Darby, where I lived, because there was a high population of Republic of Irish immigrants in my neighborhood.
Yeah, that one's got so many Irish people.
Yeah.
They have Tayto crisps.
I could buy
Northern
Tayto.
Irish Tayto.
I could buy the Independent, for God's sake, I could probably buy the newsletter if I wanted to. But, like, I could buy blood pudding. I could buy black pudding frozen in, like, the middle of 2 a.m. That's how I had Iron Brew the first time. So I would sometimes go and just buy UK...
I like that shop.
Yeah. And buy UK snacks that I hadn't had before, and I was snowed in. And even though I wasn't in Amsterdam, it was, like, I was high as shit, and so I was like, oh, Turkish Delight. Oh, this must be the most amazing candy from the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. And it was so nasty that even high, I would not eat it. So I ate the chocolate off the outside, and I threw the jelly away.
See, actual Turkish Delight doesn't have chocolate on the outside.
Well, I had actual Turkish Delight. It's okay, but I wouldn't betray you to the White Witch over it.
Fry's Turkish Delight, basically they Britishized the thing and turned it into a chocolate bar. It's a bastardization of the original Turkish Delight.
It's nasty. And you know who likes it? Old people. Old people will come into my shop and they'll buy a newspaper and the Fry's Turkish Delight. You know what the wee old dear's like? Oh, it's my one treat for the week, dear. I just gotta read my paper and eat my Turkish Delight. It's so gross.
The flavor of
Americans don't like it because we're
you guys are not used to it's the texture, it's what's inside it, and it's the flavor because it's rose flavored.
Because you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of these horrible jelly chocolates that my great aunt would always cheap out and bring to a family gathering, and every single time we're driving home, or even if they had been here, my mom and dad would be like, oh, Aunt Minnie about that, and these were so nasty, even I, the child, would just eat the chocolate off.
So this is like the British and the Bird's Custard, where they just took something that was from another country, they completely altered it and Britishized it, and that became their version of it.
Bird's Custard is nice, it's very lovely.
It is, but it's the same sort of idea. It's like America took pizza and they completely altered it and Americanized it.
Made it better, you mean?
So some countries do that. The British did that with Turkish Delight. Now what we have here is a knockoff Fry's Turkish Delight.
You got it at the pound shop, didn't you?
Yep.
You got like 5 of them for £1, and these are pretty big. We'll have the picture up for right now, but it's...
Yeah. So, this is a knockoff of the bastardization of Turkish Delight, and Omega hates Turkish Delight, so we're gonna let her try this and react as comedically as possible. Doesn't even have a name of who did it. It just says Turkish Delight.
By the way, because no one will admit to it. By the way, we've filmed 4 more episodes of You Probably Shouldn't Cook This, and they'll be hitting her Patreon soon.
Yeah, at some point, yeah.
Oh, here's a question I have for everybody. Eventually, I mean, a lot of people have told me to do it.
This is actually in Turkey.
Oh, well, there you go. A lot of people have encouraged me to get a Patreon, and the reason I haven't done so is because I would feel bad because it is usually so long between my videos. You probably what went right, especially because of the term and because of all the problems with my computer and stuff. But I'm mulling it because eventually we will have to live in the Republic for a wee bit. So, respond in the comments or tweet at me if you think that it's a good idea or not a good idea.
Yeah,
You know.
because I reckon she could do a video by video one, like for just for what went right or something.
I have a really great idea for the next one too. I want to talk about like Steven Universe and Inside Out or In and Out, whatever that CGI one that everyone's giving everyone feels about, like, you know, Erickson and Piaget in development, and you know.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Okay, so we're gonna try this Turkish delight.
It looks a lot more squiffer and smaller than fries. Fries is like this mega block of nest.
Yeah, it's smaller. That's why you get four of them per pound.
Oh God. Oh, the jelly tastes like I'll tell you exactly what it tastes like. You know, back when you were little, when you would go to use a public restroom, and you go to wash your hands, and the soap thing was filled with that pale pink, almost amoxicillin-looking hand soap that was like the cheapest you could possibly buy. That smell is what the jelly inside tastes like. The chocolate's lovely, but
Now, to give you an idea,
I feel like I've been sucking on one of those, like, you know, bounce fabric softener sheets.
now I don't think I've ever had jelly or Jello in America. You've tried jelly over here. Are they the same in texture, basically?
Jello, what you guys call jelly, like the stuff that you make from the powder?
Yeah.
Like what Colin had in the Knickerbocker Glory, that's the exact same thing as what we call Jello.
Okay, so they're exactly the same texture. This stuff is not textured like that. This stuff is textured more like, I think Americans find it weird because
It's
the
not
texture,
even gummy. It's like
it's meat gelatin, flavored with rose.
It tastes so nasty, you guys. I need to.
Unless you grew up with this, it is the sort of thing that you would find really bizarre.
It's probably a petroleum product. It's probably a byproduct of some kind of northern industrial thing that Margaret Thatcher convinced you guys was some kind of exotic treat.
So what you got is chocolate, meat gelatin, and the flavor of roses, the flower.
It's not happy.
We should eat more flowers. What do you call them? I love the flavor of violet.
Ugh, God. There's a treat called Parma Violet.
Love it.
And that is literally like you've been gargling with detergent.
Blah, 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 blah.
It's so nasty and gross. I don't
It's so
like
entertaining to horrify people who have never come across such things
before.
before.
It's not fun. It's not a pleasant time for anyone in life.
I like Turkish delight.
Oh, good. You spent your pound wisely then. It's funny though because we have a wee red velvet cake for later and custard because there were no cherry pies at Tesco, but that's a story for another day. So, what else are we doing? I'm going to Germany next month for 4 days with uni.
Mm-hmm.
So that should be fun. I really wish I had some free time. We're going to be at the University of Osnabrück for 3 days, and then we'll spend a day in Berlin. And I really wish I had time to look up all my German friends who are there, but I don't really have any free time. But I'll need to get someone to teach me how to make my Subway order in German.
Yes, creature.
Yeah, he'll tell me probably. But
So, if any of you are in Berlin or Osnabrück, hello.
Guten Tag. That's I took 2 weeks of German in high school because that's all it was required.
Oh, and I remember in one of the last lesbian talks we put up, I made some sort of comment about, massive German sausage, and I'm not talking about Creature's cock. And Creature made an amusing little YouTube video of him watching that bit, and reacting comedically. So, Creature, again, I'm referring to your cock. Your massive German sausage cock. Make a funny video on YouTube.
I don't think that you can't make lightning strike twice with that.
No.
Oh.
Okay, I'm talking about your ass then. Creature's ass! Roar!
But yeah, so that's been the story of us. I'm trying to think of anything interesting and exciting in our lives that isn't happening at any point in time. Well, since June, I've lost almost 4 stone. So that's pretty good. I'm pretty pleased about that. We have a cat. The cat was eating chips today.
Yep.
Because I made oven chips Well, not really oven
While
chips.
we were watching old videos by Spoonie.
Yeah. Because, that's what we do. So that's what's been up with us. I know people are probably think that we just gave up on Lesbian Talk, but that's not the case. It's actually not my fault this time.
And,
We'll think of something special to do for episode 100. Like, probably just bother Lewis on Skype until he agrees to come on.
I've got 2 episodes of Hagen in post-production.
Post-production.
Got 2 Patreon requests with St. Clara and Black Sheep. Anyone else?
Black Sheep's really funny.
If you're waiting on Patreon requests for Hagen reviews, they're going to be done after season 6. These were the first 2 requests made, after Equestria Girls, so they're right at the start. There's other ones coming after season 6, which include Six String Samurai and Gyo.
I did not
and the
like
animated Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe.
We watched that last weekend for notes.
Yep. And Joyful Noise.
Joyful.
Pretty sure there's another couple as well. It's going to be like a big section of just Patreon requests.
Another thing, I know that when I would guest host on, or co-host on Gomer's podcast, Lesbian Talk, we would do shout-outs and stuff like that. You probably, in your life, know someone who has been affected personally or friend of a friend-wise by cancer. And if you're able to, I think that you should try to maybe donate $1 to the American Cancer Society, or to whatever cancer charity does good works, actual good works in your land. Or, you know what, if you can't, maybe tweet out or put on Facebook their page. Maybe someone that can give some money, because I have some folks that are affected by cancer right now, and I've been it's been on my mind a lot, especially more so since I saw Deadpool the other day. So, if you can do that, just pass that word along. Not everyone has a lot of money. I understand that. But yeah, so that's the good deed of the week for lesbians all over the world. Now you say something.
Germans.
No, she's petting the cat. She got lost. But so, we're nearly out of time and space on the SD card. So, that has been us for Lesbian Talk episode 98.5. I have been the Omega Geek, and honey, who do you have on to have been this week?
Colin Baker.
Now we have to have sex immediately. See y'all next time.